This is Dr. West. Welcome to the Bible Answer Man, and hoping that this question might be a blessing to you. Dr. Lee, as a new Christian, am I to fast? Must I fast? It's kind of the way that they put the question to us. Under the old covenant, fasting was proclaimed on the Day of Atonement. Also, it was allowed and sometimes proclaimed on certain national problems with Israel. Also, personal, individually, people could fast uh, at certain occasions in a time of mourning. And well, we kind of know that now. If you're in a terrible state of mourning, you don't really want to eat. So maybe there's a little latitude there to help that and be spiritual at the same time. But not if you're only doing it to help the flesh, but all of it should have a connotation toward the Lord. So yeah, when you're mourning, that would be a time to get kind of away with God and get some help. It can be done to subdue the flesh, but from a spiritual standpoint, not just to lose weight. Then it loses its validity and you get no reward for this. That's just called a diet when you do it that way. Ezekiel 15 has a thought about it. It says, the fullness of bread leads to idleness. Well, if you want to carry that into New Testament transliteration, a person who's full, they can't be very spiritual. That's why when you do the Lord's Supper, it's not meant to be a feast to eat. Some people used to do it that way, but that's not what it is. It's meant to just have a trifle of a meal. Normally, it's just done with a wafer and some wine. Of course, Rafa chooses to use grapefruit juice when we do ours, and the wafers. That I think that's perfectly satisfies it. But no Christian should be drinking uh, alcoholic beverage, whether it be wine or not. And of course, a lot of fellowships uh, do that. Some of them have priests, and what's left over, the priest drinks, and of course they drink all the time anyway. So there's a lot of problem with drunk priests in many of the fellowships and faiths and beliefs. But so the fullness of brings idleness. Yeah, that can happen, and what that equates to, it doesn't produce any labor. A person who's full, most of the time they can just make it to a reclining place and just crash for a while, and because the full stomach just kind of breathes a good nap in its transition. So, New Covenant saints, fasting, no, God doesn't enjoin fasting upon the New Covenant church. It's voluntary if you want to do it, of course. God and you will get together on that as a believer. And in Matthew 6:16, it was Jesus was saying, he says, when you fast, not basically if you fast or when you fast. So, don't be as a hypocrite. Now, if you want to do it, you have to do it the right way. You don't do it for visibility for other people because they drew the hypothesis from the word hypocrite, which really had to do in the um, first century and also up into the 15th century in plays on stage. A hypocrite was an actor in a play, and they would play many parts. They had little handheld masks. One of them might be a happy face, and one might be a sad, downcast face. In fact, there's some figurines out there. One is frowning, the other is happy, because that they got that connotation from that. But yeah, the actor would hold up a stick with a mask on it, be happy face, another one, and another one might have another kind of a face, and they would play many characters in one play. The Jesus said this in Matthew 9:15. This is what he said about it. Can the children of the bride chamber mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? But the day shall come when the bridegroom shall be taken away, then shall they fast. Well, this was a first century prophecy as to what was going to happen to the church when he was taken up after his crucifixion. And he called the people here in this passage, this children there has to do with just friends. It's a new covenant thought that we're just sons of God. We're not friends of God. That is reserved for Israel to be friends of God. New covenant believers are sons of God. So fasting is not enjoined upon the Christian church, and if you want to do it, you're certainly legal to do that, but do it from a spiritual aspect. Some people do start off cold with a 40-day fast, and that's not wise. That's not wise at all. The fact is, we kind of teach really mainly that if you're considering fasting, why don't you get before the Holy Spirit and say, how would you like me to fast, and what do you want me to fast, and how long do you want me to fast, and then He'll give you the time frame on that. Be sensitive to it, and it'll bless you. So it is helpful to do that, but it's not enjoined upon the church, and you can take your latitude. Can there be a blessing in it? Yes, you can. You can move into the spiritual area, and you can be very rich in that. But if you do it from pride or ego, then that will come to play for you too. Okay, Lord bless you. Good to have had you with you, old new listeners and the old one. Lord bless you.